I canceled my Adobe stack for one reason. By mid-2026, too many paid apps were doing jobs that free AI tools could now handle well enough. The catch is that free in 2026 can mean 5 different things: fully free, quota-based free, preview free, trial free, or monthly credit free. That difference decides whether a tool replaces a subscription for 6 months or disappoints you after 3 clicks and one hidden limit page. So this is not a fantasy list built on 2025 screenshots, dead links, or region-locked promises that collapse the moment you open the sign-up page. This is a job-by-job replacement map using mid-2026 tools like NotebookLM, Google AI Studio, Perplexity, Microsoft Designer, Google Illuminate, and Google Cloud's free AI toolkit. And one warning matters before we start. A tool can be amazing in May 2026 and effectively gone for your workflow by June 18, 2026. That exact problem hit Gemini Code Assist for Individuals, which launched in 2025 with generous use, then stopped serving consumer tier IDE and CLI requests on June 18, 2026. So the real story is not, I found perfect free apps. It is, I built a stack that survives quotas, policy changes, and subscription fatigue. If your old paid setup covered research, drafting, image work, voice, video, and automation, the smartest replacement plan starts with the jobs, not the brands. The first job I had to replace was research, because paid creative work dies fast when notes, sources, and references are scattered across tabs. That is where NotebookLM became the strongest part of the whole stack, because its mid-2026 standard plan is generous in very specific ways. NotebookLM gives you 100 notebooks, which is enough to separate clients, projects, side ideas, school topics, and long personal archives without constant cleanup. Inside each of those 100 notebooks, you can load 50 sources, which is huge if your old workflow depended on PDFs, notes, transcripts, and copied research. That source limit matters because research tools become useless fast when they force you to split one project into 5 broken containers. NotebookLM also gives 50 chats per day, so you can ask follow-up questions without feeling like every clarification is burning a rare token. For creators replacing paid note tools, those 50 daily chats help turn a pile of sources into outlines, summaries, and quick fact checks. The part that surprised me most was not the chats, but the built-in outputs that feel like mini production tools. You get 3 audio overviews per day, which means a project can become a listenable summary while you walk, clean, or commute. You also get 3 video overviews per day, which is useful when a research-heavy topic needs a faster visual recap before writing begins. Then there are 10 reports per day, which matters if your old paid stack used separate tools for briefs, summaries, and structured draft support. NotebookLM also includes 10 flashcard sets, 10 quizzes, and 10 mind maps per day, which sounds academic until you use them for real work. A flashcard set can stress test your own knowledge, a quiz can expose weak spots, and a mind map can show whether a big topic actually connects. Then there are 10 deep research runs per month, which is a limited feature but still enough for the biggest projects that need extra structure. That quota is why NotebookLM works best as a main research desk, not as an endless toy where you waste deep runs on random curiosity. If I had to replace one expensive thinking tool first in mid-2026, NotebookLM would be the first subscription I would feel safe canceling. But research is only half the problem, because sometimes you need a playground, not a notebook. And that is where Google AI Studio enters. Google AI Studio is one of the strongest free options in available countries, because public positioning says normal usage is completely free there. That available countries phrase matters, because a great free tool is not really free for viewers blocked by region or age restrictions. So I would never call Google AI Studio universal, but in supported places, it is one of the best no-cost model playgrounds available. This is where you test prompts, compare outputs, try multimodal ideas, and quickly see what works before building a bigger workflow around it. If NotebookLM is the research desk, Google AI Studio is the lab bench where you try things, break things, and learn faster. There is also an API-free tier with lower rate limits for testing, which matters more for builders than casual users. Those lower rate limits are not a flaw if your goal is prototyping, because testing a workflow does not need full production level volume. That makes AI Studio a strong replacement for people who paid just to access models, compare results, or run small technical experiments. Now, the next replacement job is different, because research and prototyping still leave one major gap: web-first answers with visible citations. That is where Perplexity's free core still earns a place, because its strength is not raw model access, but citation-backed search flow. Perplexity is still presented as free to start, which sounds small, but that starting point is useful when your goal is checking claims quickly. If NotebookLM works best with your own 50-source notebook, Perplexity works best when the answer needs the broader public web. That split matters because many paid stacks waste money by asking one tool to do every job poorly instead of two jobs well. Perplexity became my fast check tool for current information, public pages, and source-back summaries that I needed before drafting anything polished. I would not use Perplexity as my only workspace because it is stronger as a citation-first finder than as a deep project home. But as a free-to-start layer, it removes the need to pay for basic web answer tools in a surprising number of cases. Now we move to the part most people actually mean when they say they canceled Adobe, design, layout, and fast visual edits. This is where honesty matters most, because Microsoft Designer is not unlimited free software. It is a monthly credit system with clear ceilings. That means Microsoft Designer belongs in a replacement stack only if you treat it like a credit-based entry point, not infinite free design labor. If your old paid habit was making quick social graphics, simple thumbnails, or fast image edits, those monthly credits can cover more than expected. If your old habit was endless generation, heavy batch work, or constant revisions, Microsoft Designer will feel limited much faster than a paid plan. That is the core rule for all of 2026. Free success depends less on the product page and more on your usage pattern. Microsoft 365 plans raise those credits, but the strongest free argument is still the basic monthly credit option for light or moderate visual needs. So no, Microsoft Designer is not a perfect clone for a full-paid creative suite, but it can replace a lot of small tasks. And small tasks are exactly where subscriptions become annoying, because many people pay every month for work they only do a few times. The next tool on this list feels less obvious, but that is why it matters if your work includes reading and learning from research papers. Google Illuminate is one of those lesser-known tools that can save time by turning research papers into AI-generated audio summaries. That single feature matters more than it sounds, because long PDFs often die unread, while audio summaries can fit into a 20-minute walk. If your old paid workflow used separate reading tools, text-to-audio hacks, or manual summarizing, Illuminate can remove several small steps at once. It is not trying to be a full writing suite, and that narrow role is exactly why it works in this stack. NotebookLM handles source-grounded project work, but Illuminate handles the moment when a dense paper needs to become listenable before your attention disappears. That makes it a replacement for friction, not just cost, which is a better reason to switch tools in the first place. Now we reach the least flashy part of this list, and for builders, it may be the most powerful replacement of all. Google Cloud's free AI toolkit includes vision, speech-to-text, text-to-speech, natural language, video intelligence, translation, and the surrounding infrastructure. That list sounds technical, but it matters because many people quietly pay separate subscriptions for each one of those narrow jobs. Vision can help with image analysis, speech-to-text can handle transcription, and text-to-speech can create audio output without another standalone service. Natural language covers text processing tasks, translation can replace dedicated language tools for some jobs, and video intelligence adds another automation layer. When you put those together, the free cloud toolkit stops looking boring and starts looking like a bundle of canceled monthly bills. The catch is that this builder stack is not aimed at everyone, because casual users may never touch APIs, cloud dashboards, or infrastructure settings. But for anyone even mildly technical, the free toolkit can replace a surprising number of specialty subscriptions that were never really cheap. This is also where the title makes more sense than it first sounds, because replacing one giant paid brand often means replacing it with 6 smaller tools. One tool handles research, one handles prototyping, one handles citation search, one handles design, one handles audio learning, and one handles automation. That sounds messy until you remember that many paid suites are also collections of separate tools hiding behind one monthly bill. The difference is that a free stack forces you to understand what each task actually is, and that makes your workflow cleaner. Now, the most important part of this whole video is not a product recommendation. It is the expired freebie warning system. The easiest way to lose trust in 2026 is to recommend tools using old quota pages, dead offers, or screenshots from last year. That is why Gemini Code Assist for individuals matters so much as a cautionary example, even if coding is not your main use case. In 2025, it launched with generous usage that made it look like a major long-term free option for many people. But official documentation later said that starting June 18, 2026, the consumer tier IDE extensions and CLI stopped serving those individual and consumer subscription tiers. That one date, June 18, 2026, should change how you watch every Best Free AI Tools video from now on. A tool can be real, useful, and honestly praised in 2025, then become outdated advice in 2026 without anyone lying to you. That is why I do not trust tool lists organized by hype, views, or thumbnail color. I trust lists organized by job and current limits. So let's pin the replacement stack down more clearly, starting with research and synthesis as one full category. For research and synthesis, NotebookLM is the strongest free foundation because of 100 notebooks, 50 sources each, and 50 daily chats. Perplexity supports that category as the quick citation-backed web layer, especially when the answer needs public pages instead of your own stored sources. For model playground and prototyping, Google AI Studio stands out because of its free use in available countries and test-friendly API tier. For design and image editing, Microsoft Designer makes sense only if monthly credits match your actual output level during a normal month. For learning through audio, Google Illuminate fills a narrow but valuable role by turning research papers into AI-generated audio summaries. For builders, Google Cloud's free toolkit covers vision, speech-to-text, text-to-speech, natural language, video intelligence, translation, and supporting infrastructure. And for credibility, you need one final category called formerly great tools that changed, with Gemini Code Assist as the strongest warning sign. That category may sound negative, but it is actually the part that saves viewers the most time, money, and false hope. A bad free tools video wastes your weekend with signups, account creation, and dead ends that were already documented months earlier. A good free tools video tells you exactly which tools are still alive, which are quota limited, and which ones changed after launch. That is why the word free must always come with a second word like quotas, preview, credits, region, or testing. Without that second word, free becomes marketing fog, and marketing fog is how subscription fatigue turns into tool fatigue. Now let's talk about what this stack does better than a one-brand paid setup, because there is one real advantage beyond price. A job-based stack makes you think in workflows instead of features, and workflows are what actually save money and time. For example, a research-heavy project can begin in NotebookLM, get checked in Perplexity, tested in AI Studio, then packaged visually in Microsoft Designer. A paper-heavy project can begin in NotebookLM, become an audio summary in Illuminate, then feed a cloud workflow using speech-to-text or translation later. That path-based thinking matters because paying for giant suites often hides how little of the suite you truly use every week. If you only need design twice a month, research every day, and citation search 3 times a week, the stack should reflect that pattern. The downside is that free stacks demand a little more attention, because you must watch quotas, regions, plan changes, and policy updates. NotebookLM's 10 deep research runs per month are generous if you plan them, but wasteful if you spend them on random experiments. Microsoft Designer's monthly credits feel solid if you make a few assets well, but weak if you chase endless variations for fun. Google AI Studio feels incredible in supported countries, but irrelevant if your country or age status blocks access from the start. Perplexity's free-to-start value is strong for cited answers, but it still works best when you know its role and do not over-expect. Google Cloud's free toolkit can save a builder serious money, but only if that builder is willing to learn cloud basics. That sounds like a lot of conditions, but conditions are the honest price of getting real value from free tools in 2026. And honesty matters more than ever in this niche because viewers are tired of being sold free tools that break after one limit page. So did I really replace an entire paid creative subscription with this stack? For research, drafting support, fast visual jobs, audio learning, model testing, and small automations, the answer in mid-2026 is mostly yes. For unlimited heavy design production, full professional creative pipelines, or large-scale agency workflows, the answer is clearly no. But that is still a huge shift because many people paying for premium software are not running agency-scale workloads in the first place. They are writing, researching, designing occasionally, summarizing, transcribing, and experimenting, which this 6-part stack can often cover. That is why the real replacement story is not about one killer app defeating one giant company in one dramatic moment. It is about matching each task to the right free tool, while staying alert to the fact that free tiers change constantly. If you remember only one idea from this whole video, remember this. In 2026, accuracy is part of the product. A recommendation without dates, quotas, region notes, or policy changes is not a recommendation. It is just temporary hype with nice editing. So if you are cutting costs this year, start with the jobs you do every week, then match them to the right tool category. NotebookLM stands out because its standard plan goes far beyond one toy prompt, offering 100 notebooks, 50 sources each, and 50 chats per day. It also gives 3 audio overviews, 3 video overviews, 10 reports, 10 flashcard sets, 10 quizzes, 10 mind maps, and 10 deep research runs each month. Google AI Studio earns attention for a different reason, because public positioning says the interface is free in available countries while the API keeps lower testing limits. Perplexity stays useful because citation-backed answers save time, especially for research jobs where a web-first result matters more than a blank creative chat box. Microsoft Designer belongs on the list only with an honest warning, because monthly credits are not the same as unlimited editing for a full-time design workflow. Google Illuminate feels different again because it turns research papers into audio summaries, which makes it a study tool instead of a direct Photoshop substitute. The best credibility move in 2026 is simple. Show viewers which freebies changed, like Gemini Code Assist after June 18, 2026, so they do not waste hours on outdated advice. Research and synthesis go to NotebookLM and Perplexity. Prototyping goes to AI Studio. Visuals go to Microsoft Designer, and paper audio goes to Illuminate. If you build things, add Google Cloud's free AI toolkit, and always keep one eye on change logs, quota pages, and shutdown notices. And if you want the next video, watch the one where I break down which free forever AI tools from 2025 did not survive 2026.